We're on page 2 now. I'm going to do a few more of the factoring by grouping way, and then we'll take on a shortcut. Okay? So, how can we multiply and get 6? 1 times 6, 2 times 3, and minus sign. How can we multiply and get plus 6 and add and get negative 5? Well, if we make those both negative, they still make plus 6 when you multiply. They make negative 7 when we add. And if I make these both negative, they still make a plus 6 when you multiply. But now they make a negative 5 when you add. Wonderful. So I'm going to replace the minus 5x with minus 2x minus 3x. Everything else got copied. So for these two terms, x comes out to the front, x times x minus 2. For these two terms, a minus 3 comes out to the front, minus 3 times x. And then be careful here, we want a plus 6, so we need a minus 2, don't we? See, that'll make a plus 6. Note the common factor, x minus 2. X minus 2, x minus 3. Okay, now right here we might begin to notice, we might begin to say, let me reveal, if you haven't noticed, the numbers that we used for the rewriting the middle term, aren't they exactly the same as the numbers we wound up with in the parentheses? Let's look back at the first page just for a minute. We used 3 and 4. Look at our answer, x plus 3, x plus 4. We used 2 and 5, x plus 2, x plus 5. We used 4 and 2, x plus 4, x plus 2. It's not a coincidence. And that's what I meant earlier when I said if you could go from here to here with something you learned years ago, that's fine. So this time, we're going to go a little faster. What multiplies out to 16 and also adds up to negative 10? How about a negative 2 and a negative 8? Those add up to negative 10. Those multiply out to plus 16. So I'm just going to write x minus 2, x minus 8. That's the answer. And just for the doubters, x times x, x squared, minus 8x, minus 2x, plus 16. There's the minus 10x in the middle. Okay? But this is the answer to the question. How do we factor that? 45. And plus 45 and minus 14. How about a minus 9 and a minus 5? Those multiply out to plus 45. Those add up to negative 14. As soon as we find those two numbers, we're done. Okay, now that's how we can do these where it's a 1x squared. As soon as we get a 2x squared, then we're going to have to use the factoring by grouping again. As soon as we have a 2 or a 3 or some other number in front of that x squared, it gets to be a little more work. How can we multiply and get 30 and at the same time get negative 11? How about negative 6 and negative 5? Those add up to negative 11 and multiply out to plus 30. So x minus 6, x minus 5, that'll do the trick. And how about multiply out to plus 1 and add up to negative 2? How about a negative 1 and a negative 1? Those add up to negative 2, and those multiply out to plus 1. So we get x minus 1 actually appearing twice. Okay? 24 plus 24 and minus 14. Minus 2 and minus 12. See, those add up to minus 14 and multiply out to plus 24. So x minus 2, x minus 12. And a minus 15. Now, multiplying and getting a negative, we need one negative number and one positive number. So we could have negative 1 and 15, which would add up to 14, or 1 and negative 15, which would add up to negative 14. We're trying to get a 2. How about a 3 and a minus 5? That makes minus 15 when you multiply, but it makes a minus 2 when we add. How about we just change the signs? Negative 3, positive 5, multiply out to negative 15. Negative 3, positive 5, add up to plus 2. This is what we're going to use. X minus 3, x plus 5. Okay. And how about a minus 12 and a minus 1? Minus 4 plus 3. Those add up to minus 1, multiply out to minus 12. So x minus 4 and x plus 3 will take care of that. Is this a rerun? This the same thing? No, it's got plus 1 in the middle. So this time we'll use positive 4 and negative 3. Those will add up to plus 1x in the middle, multiply out to make the minus 12. Our factorization looks like this. X plus 4, x minus 3. Multiply that out, you will get back what we started with. That's the end of page 2.